Multi-million-dollar tribal cannabis manufacturing facility is getting the green light despite the project being voted down by members of the IRRRB. Today, in a vote of 5-2, members of the IRRRB voted against the $2.5 million cannabis loan project by the Fond du Lac Band. The Fond du Lac Cannabis Corporation is using the loan to purchase equipment for cultivation of cannabis and manufacturing of cannabis-infused goods in a facility in Brookston, with a separate retail location in Carlton. Fond du Lac argues the project would create about 55 jobs for the region. IRRRB Commissioner Ida Rukavina said she plans to move the project forward, arguing the state agency has done its due diligence to vet the project.